This is the EF ECOFLOW WAVE 3 portable air conditioner. If you're like me and spend a lot of time camping, traveling in a van, or just hanging out in smaller spaces, say a tent or an RV, you probably know how tough it can be to control the temperature. It's either way too hot in summer or freezing at night, and usually solutions are either too bulky or too limited if you want something truly portable. That's why I decided to try out the ECOFLOW WAVE 3 and see if it really solves those problems. Looking at this product for the first time, you notice how different it is compared to the portable air conditioners I've used before. It's got a kind of modern, almost futuristic look. The color scheme is sleek, kind of a dark gray mixed with lighter accents, and the shape really reminds me of a compact suitcase. It actually has a handle built in at the top, which, trust me, makes life easier when you're trying to drag this thing out of your car and into a tight spot in your camper. This thing isn't tiny at 33.7 pounds, and I won't pretend it's feather light, but with the handle and wheels, I can move it around by myself without much trouble. The whole design just feels intentional, from where you plug everything in to the way you attach the hoses. I remember when I first unboxed it, I was honestly a little intimidated. There are a few parts to assemble, like these insulated hoses for directing air, a drainage tube, and then these little shrouds that help you connect the ducts exactly where you want them. If you've never set up something like this before, it definitely pays to read through the quick start guide. Once I followed the instructions step by step, it all clicked into place, and I realized it wasn't as complicated as I'd feared. Everything actually has a satisfying snap when it connects, and it feels sturdy. Even the smaller pieces, like the shroud or the little section where you wrap up the power cord, are well designed. From my experience, using the Wave 3 was surprisingly simple. All the controls are right on the front panel, with a clear screen and tactile buttons that make switching between modes easy. There's a cooling mode, which is what I use the most, but there's also heating, just moving air like a fan, and a dehumidifying setting. For anyone not familiar with these terms, cooling makes the room cold, heating does the opposite. The fan just circulates air to keep things fresh, and the dehumidifier pulls moisture out of the air so you don't feel sticky or muggy. In terms of actual performance, the cooling power stands out. EcoFlow says it's got 6100 BTUs, which, to be honest, is way more efficient than my older portable AC. I set it up in a small RV area, probably around 120 square feet, and within maybe 10 or 15 minutes, the temperature dropped noticeably. It didn't just nudge cooler, it felt genuinely comfortable, even though it was a blazing day outside. I'm someone who's picky about sleep when I'm on the road, and one of the key features here is the sleep mode. It actually tones down the fan and runs a lot quieter, around 44 decibels, which is like a soft hum, quiet enough that I could fall asleep and not get disturbed. I'm also impressed with the heating function. Usually I don't expect heaters on these portable units to do much, but this one put out warm air fast. I tried it one chilly morning in the back of my van and honestly didn't want to get out of bed because it stayed so cozy inside. The fan mode is pretty straightforward, just for circulating air, but it's surprisingly strong. I ended up using this a lot just to keep things from getting stuffy on calm days. Another thing that makes this product stand out is its battery option. You can buy a battery separately that lets the Wave 3 run completely cordless for up to 8 hours according to EcoFlow. I tested it overnight in my tent while camping, and it did last through the hotter part of the night without me needing to plug in, though it depends on the mode and settings you use. The battery attaches under the main unit and connects with a rugged cable. Very secure, doesn't feel flimsy or awkward. Just a heads up, the battery is an extra accessory, and it does add some weight to the whole setup, but if you do any camping or go off-grid, being able to use this thing without searching for an outlet is honestly a lifesaver. Controlling the Wave 3 is also pretty slick with the EcoFlow app. I just paired my phone via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi and could change the temperature, the mode, or even turn the unit on or off remotely. There's a cool pet care feature, where if the temperature inside your space rises too high, the AC will automatically kick in, so your dog or cat doesn't overheat if you step out for a while. Setting timers for automatic shutoff is handy too. No need to wake up just to turn it off. There are a lot of things I really like about the Wave 3. First off, the versatility matters to me. Having one machine that handles cooling, heating, and dehumidifying means there's less stuff I have to bring or store. It's perfect for someone who wants a do-it-all solution for a van, small RV, or even a tent. The fast cooling, honestly, is a highlight. It cools small spaces so much faster than other portable AC units I've tried. I'm also a big fan of the low power usage. I check the energy pull with a meter, and it's surprisingly efficient even running on maximum. The app control and all the smart features help a lot too. If you've ever been comfortable in bed and then realize it's too warm, being able to just grab your phone and adjust everything without getting up is awesome. The battery is probably the single key feature that sets it apart for me. Cordless freedom is huge for anyone camping or overlanding. The eco-friendly aspect is also worth mentioning. They use something called R290 refrigerant that's a lot less damaging to the environment, which is a detail I really appreciate. That being said, there are some things I don't like. This isn't a miracle solution for bigger spaces. EcoFlow says it's ideal for up to 180 square feet, and in my opinion, it really does work best in confined areas, like an RV, camper van, or a bigger tent. If you're looking for something to cool down an apartment or a large room, you'll probably be disappointed. Another point is the weight. Even with the carry handle and wheels, it does get heavy when you add the battery on. If you move locations a lot, it's not as grab and go as I hoped. Storage is manageable, but it's not what I'd call compact after adding all the hoses and accessories. Another thing to be mindful of is the noise level. When it's running on full blast, especially when cooling or heating, it does make a noticeable sound. It's not deafening, but it's definitely present. I slept okay with it in sleep mode, but for some people who are super sensitive to noise, this could be a problem. Setting it up for the first time took me longer than I thought. Getting the hoses attached, figuring out where to route everything out a window. And if you're new to this kind of gear, there might be a bit of a learning curve. Once it's set up though, it's smooth sailing. One last point. The battery life is much improved from earlier models, but I'd still recommend planning for recharges if you want to use it all night on max cooling, or bring a spare battery if you're going off-grid for longer. Fast charging does help. I could get it up to full in about 75 minutes plugged into AC power, which is honestly quicker than I expected. Still, it's something to be aware of. In conclusion, I'd recommend the EF ECOFLOW WAVE 3 portable air conditioner for anyone who spends a lot of time on the road, in a van, a small RV, or an adventure tent. Basically, I see it as perfect for small spaces where controlling the temperature really matters. If you care about flexibility, quick cooling, and the option to run on battery, it checks every box. Just be realistic about the size and noise, and you'll probably be really happy with it. From my experience, it brought a ton of comfort on my last few trips. If you want a truly portable, easy-to-use 8-in heater for tiny areas, put this one on your list. I will update specific information about the EF ECOFLOW WAVE 3 portable air conditioner in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.